Paul said in Ephesians 4, verse 17, "This I say, therefore, and testify in the Lord, that you should no longer walk as the rest of the Gentiles walk, in the futility of their mind, having their understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart, who being past feeling have given themselves over to lewdness, to work all uncleanness with greediness. But you have not so learned Christ, if indeed you have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Jesus, that you put off concerning your former conduct the old man which grows corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that you put on the new man which was created according to God in true righteousness and holiness." Our goal is to always put God first and to seek his approval, not man's. In fact, Paul says in Galatians 1:10, "For do I now persuade men or God, or do I seek to please men? For if I still please men, I would not be a bondservant of Christ." If we try and seek the approval of man so that they will be pleased with us, Paul says this would mean that you are not a bondservant of Christ. Man always has a way, but we must not conform to it unless it's exactly what God has told us to do. So that there's no confusion, I'm not talking about harmless traditions or customs. There is certainly nothing wrong with celebrating things like the 4th of July or Thanksgiving. There's nothing wrong with having traditions of marriage ceremonies or eating a certain way. None of these things will go against what God's Word teaches. When I say man's way, I'm talking about teachings and things that they do that are contrary to God's way. In the Old Testament, some began to sacrifice their children to a false god, and many today say it's okay to kill an unborn child because it was an accident or because it's not wanted. Though man may say, yes, this is acceptable, God says, no, it is murder. So following man in this way would be wrong, and it could lead one to hell, which is why we must always choose God's way and seek his approval.